Hey everyone, welcome to Cooking Companion TV. I'm Jenna Edwards, and this is a special edition of quarantine cooking. Bless our hearts. This means that I filmed it during the great quarantine of 2020 in New York City. This video is a recipe demo of roasted carrots and cauliflower with tahini from cardamomandtea.com. It is completely vegan, well, except for the cheese, if you choose to use cheese, in case you don't know that adding cheese makes it not vegan. So give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Let's prep the vegetables. We'll slice a pound of carrots on the bias into thick slices. And this means we make the slices at an angle, so we actually get longer slices of carrot. And then tackle the cauliflower. After cleaning and removing the leaves, we'll separate the florets from the stalk. Unless you're making this for a lot of people, you may not need the entire head or the stalks. I used about 2/3 of the florets, and then I gave the stalks to my dog. Then spread the carrots and cauliflower on a baking sheet and break up the florets into bite-sized pieces, cutting it if you have to. Now this next step really makes the entire recipe. So mix together 1 teaspoon of dried thyme leaves and 3/4 of a teaspoon of ground coriander and 3/4 of a teaspoon of kosher salt, and mix it with 1.5 tablespoons of olive oil. Slice 2 to 3 garlic cloves and sprinkle them onto the baking sheet. Pour the herbed oil mixture onto the baking sheet and toss everything together with your hands. I loved everything about this recipe, and I have zero regrets, even though the cauliflower gave me a lot of gas. I've never done that before. This recipe is colorful and it's pretty and it's super flavorful. And one more step before we go to the oven. Sprinkle everything with 2 tablespoons of finely grated parmesan. This is optional, but it gives a nice little salty tang, or a little stink, if you will, to everything. I have roasted broccoli with almond flour for a similar effect. So if you want to make this vegan, you can either leave out the cheese or use 2 tablespoons of almond flour. And roast the veggies for 15 to 20 minutes at 425 degrees Fahrenheit or 220 degrees Celsius. Measure out 1/3 of a cup of sultanas or raisins, the color doesn't matter, whatever you can find, and coat them in 1/2 teaspoon of olive oil and set them aside. We'll sprinkle them onto the veggies at the end of the roast. In the meantime, we can mix together the tahini sauce. So measure out 1/4 of a cup of tahini and add 3 tablespoons of lemon juice and 3 tablespoons of water and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And whisk it together. This looks unusually watery, but it does thicken a little bit as it sits. Also, this is very lemony, and it works quite well for the recipe. But if you want it thicker, add the lemon juice and water a little at a time until you get the consistency that you want. But the thin consistency works for this recipe. In the last 2 to 3 minutes of the veggie roast, sprinkle on the oil-coated raisins and continue roasting. It's just enough to plump them up and to intensify their flavor into something truly phenomenal. Now get your veggies into a serving bowl and let's assemble this gorgeous dish. You'll only use 1/2 the tahini sauce for the full recipe of veggies, so you can save the remaining tahini sauce for something else. It lasts about a week in the fridge. And finally, sprinkle on chopped cilantro or parsley and some finely chopped pistachios for a nice little crunch. It's earthy and crunchy and tangy and savory, and I think you'll really like this one. So get the ingredient list below or at cookingcompaniontv.com/tahini cauliflower carrots. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and subscribe to this channel for more demos just like this. I'm Jenna Edwards, and thanks for watching.